In the previous video, we learned about how to create databases on multiple databases and created databases for design and catalog. But we faced a problem working with the modeling software. Since our catalog database was empty, we were not able to work with the piping module. To solve this problem, instead of creating the piping specification from scratch in the Paragon module, we can add the catalog database from another project to our project. For this reason, I added the AVEVA catalog project to my evars file, and you can see it in my list of projects. Let's open the training project we have created and open the admin module. In the database and extract section, you can see 4 buttons at the bottom of screen, which you can use to add databases from other projects. Click on the Include button and the Include Foreign Database window opens. At the top of this window, the projects you have in your list of projects is shown, and when you select a project, the databases of that project is shown at the bottom of this window. Also, to include or copy a database from another project, you must have the username and password of a free user from that project. So I select the ACP project and filter for the catalog database. And between these databases, I look for the database for piping catalog. If you look at the database numbers, you can see that most of them are in the range of 7,000. And that's why in the previous video we said not to use database numbers between 7,000 and 10,000 because that range of databases is used by the AVEVA software. So I select the piping catalog, and you can select more than one database by holding the control key on your keyboard. So for example, I select the catalog database for the equipments as well. I use the username and password of the free user for the ACP project, which is shown on the screen. Then I click apply, and you see that the 2 databases I selected is removed from the list at the bottom of the window because it is added to my project. And if you have a database with a similar number in your project, you cannot include another database from another project with the same database number. So I close this window, and you can see the databases we selected are added to our project. And in the foreign column, unlike the databases we created in the previous video, name of the project that we included the database from is written. Now let's add these 2 databases to our MDB list and open the Paragon module to see the difference between the databases we created and the ones we included from another project. In the Paragon module, let's open the Catalog Explorer so we can see the catalog databases of our project. I will also open the Attributes panel so we can see if we have write access to a database or not. So this is the catalog database and specification board we created in the previous video, and in the attribute panel you can see that the cells are not grayed out, meaning we can make modifications and we have write access to the database. But if I stand on the database we included from the ACP projects, you can see that all the items in the attribute panels are grayed out, meaning we don't have write access to this database and we cannot make modifications on it. This is because these kind of databases, which are called foreign databases, are not a part of our project and are directly read from the original project. And if I want to make any modification on it, I need to change the modification on the original project. So let's open the ACP project and see what happens if we make any modification on the original project. Let's open the two projects side by side. So the one on the right is the original project and the one on the left is the training project we created. Now in the master equip kata, I create a new specification board. Now if I save the ACP project and get work in the training project, you can see that the specification board is added to our project as well. These kind of databases are called foreign databases and have their own use case. For example, if you have projects in your company that uses the same standard, for example, as me, instead of creating catalog databases for each project, you can create a catalog project and include the databases to your project as a foreign database. Then, if you find an error in your catalog, for example, dimension of a valve is incorrect, by correcting it on the original database, it will be automatically corrected across all your projects. And we also usually call these kind of projects master projects. And also this way you need less storage space to keep your projects as you are sharing one database across many projects instead of creating one specific for each project. Let's also open the project folder and you can see that in the 000 folder no new file is added and we only have the databases we created in the previous video. This is because the foreign databases are not part of our project and are read from the original project. And you should also have the original project in your evars file, and if you remove the original project from your evars file, you no longer have access to the foreign databases from that project and you might face errors. Now let's go back to the database window. I want to remove the pipekata database from my project. Instead of using the delete button for foreign databases, you should use the exclude button. So I click on the exclude button and in the open window, select the pipekata database. And this time, instead of using the include button, I use the copy foreign button to add the pipekata database to my project. In the open window, I select the ACP project and in the list of projects, I look for the pipekata database. You can see that at the bottom of this window, you can select the owning team as well. Since we are copying the database from the original project, we can change the team that the database is owned by. So I select the Kata team as the owner of this database. Then I click apply and the catalog database is added to my project. And in the foreign column, you can see that instead of showing ACP, it is written as local, meaning this database is a local database and a part of our project. Now let's add this database to our MDB and open the Paragon module again to see the difference between a foreign and a local database. Now if I open the attribute panel, you can see that this time I have write access to the database and I can make modification on this database. Now you know the difference between local and foreign databases. And depending on your use case and what you want to do with the database, you can use either of them. You can also convert a foreign database to a local database using the Promote button. Click on the Promote button and in the open window, select the database you want and then click on the Promote button again. This way, the foreign database you selected is converted to local database and you have full access to it. But we noted that the database is no longer linked to the original project, and if you make modification on the database on the original project, the changes will not appear in your project. Another thing to consider is that if you try to include a database from another project to your project, you should have the owning team of that database in your project as well. For example, I try to add a database with the owning team of MDS, but I don't have this team in my project. If I click apply, you can see that it asks me that I need to have the MDS team and ask me if I want the team to be created by the software. If I click yes, the team is created and the database is included to my project. Let's also check what happens if there is a database in our project with the same database number as the database we want to include from another project. For example, in the ACP project, there is an ASL catalog database with the database number of 7010. Now I create a database in my project with the same database number. You also see that because I'm using a database number in the range of 7000, I face a warning that this range is used by the AVEVA software, and if I want to continue with the database number or not. As I know the consequences, I click OK. Now, if I click on the include button, you can see that if I search for the 7010 database, no database is shown. This is because there is a database with the same database number in my project. So when you are sure that you have some database in the original project, but the database is not shown in the include window, that can be because you have a database with the same database number in your project. In the next video, you will learn how to reconfigure a database and change the database number in your project.